I reached the end of the 7th row. You can see that I made 4 hair chains. I'm going to attach them to the first short base that I had at the beginning of the row, and this row will end. Now I want to start the 8th row. It is long and extends from the side, but I weave half of it. I hold it on the hook and I proceed. From around the next short base, I weave a long conspicuous base from the middle of it. I have 3 threads on the hook. I join these 3 threads together. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I make 6 chains. I wrap yarn around the hook from the same base, where I now weave a long conspicuous base from the halfway. I weave a long conspicuous base from the halfway again. Then I move to the next short base, a long conspicuous base from the halfway, and take the 3 threads on the hook with me. I also make another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain again from this base. I knit the last long prominent base from the halfway side. I knit a long prominent base from halfway from the next base, from around the next base. I also weave a long prominent base from halfway. I weave around the next base. 3 threads become 1 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now here I weave a long conspicuous base from halfway, and then I take this short base again, a long prominent base from halfway, and proceed from the base. Next, the next short base. If it is this one, I will knit a prominent long base from halfway. I have 3 threads on the hook and I will join them together. So in the same way, I will make the bases of my claim with a distance of 6 chains, which should actually be the back of my work. In order to create 16 of these chain spaces, I reached the end of my 8th row. What did I do? Now, from the same base that I made my last claim, a long base stands out from half of my weave. Here I have to come from this first base again, but from this part here, I don't take it. I will take it from the top of the base of this part, which is actually a long protruding part from the top of my weave. From the top part above it, I will take a long protruding part from the half. I claim these together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 chains. My friend, here is my first claim, but look at the upper part of it. Click on it so that the shape of your cartoon will be more beautiful. It will work exactly like these other integrations. What do we do now? To start the 9th row, I make a chain. And here a 1, 2. And if I knit 3 long bases, then my claim is 3 rounds. Here is a chain to the long base of the weave. I will come here from the next round. It now depends. You have to like it completely apart from it. Take it or see this part above. Here is the thread. Do you have this? Take it. I'll take these 2 threads from under these 2 threads and weave a long prominent base from the front. I take these 2 threads, which are the last step of my sewing, and the 3 long legs are prominent. gear rim, and a long stand protruding from face 1-2. Third chain, here again, I knit a long raised base from the front, I make a chain, I come, I take the thread from the round of the next row, and I knit 3 long raised bases from the front. A chain and the continuation of the work. So what happened, my friends? My first claim was 3 tall pillars standing out from the face. I made a chain and went to the next step of a base, long, prominent from the weave of 3 chains, a long base, highlighted again by a chain of subsequent actions, 3, up to the long stand out from the face, and so on. Continue until you reach the end of the ridge. I have reached the end. Row 9, I make a hair chain, I will come here, the first base. I tie the height I had to the first long base. There are 3 of these categories, then tie it up with another fasten. I will come to the second base and throw a chain around here. The same second pillar again has 3 prominent tall pillars. I knit forward. This will be the second and this will be the third. Long stand protruding from the front, then on the second stand 3. Up to the long protruding base, I now weave a chain. I'm going to come here around this tall prominent base that is here. I had woven a V-shaped base. The first leg of 2 long legs protrudes from the half. I will knit and then I will join them together. I chain, I come into the space of 3 chains, I become 1. I put a long base of a chain in the same space. The length of a chain and another base in the same space. Long. So I'm now in this space of 3 chains. I hit 3 long posts with a distance of 1 chain. Middle chain again around the next base, 2 to the long base. I knit the highlights from the half and these with. Also, I will make 1. Pay attention to the spaces in the chain of Imo. 1, 2, 3, 4, and my long legs, which are 3. I will make a long base of a chain. I will come here from the base. In the middle of it, the middle base of 3 to the high base of the raised from. I knit in front and 3 then around the middle base 3. I make a chain from the front of my weave to the long protruding base. I will come here again and repeat the same thing. Repeat from the beginning. In this section again, there are 2 long legs that I sewed together with half of my weave protruding from the chain space. 3 long legs, the distance of which is 1 chain, again 1 chain, and on the second leg, 2 long legs protruding from the half. You can add and continue to knit a chain in the same way. We have reached the end of this row. We will come to the end of the 10th row, and here you can see this part of my work. I have woven the bases of my claim and 3 long bases. I'm now coming to the first of these 3 prominent long legs. I will attach a chain in this row, and it will come around the first long leg that is prominent in front of you. This is the beginning of row 11. My first long leg. 3 long legs sticking out from it. I am knitting. So, on the first long leg, knit 3 raised long legs from the front. Let's go around the long leg. Knit 1 long leg in this way. Knit a chain again. Go around the third leg. Knit 3 long raised legs from the front. So now these long protruding legs are from the one I had here, and I created 2 branches. That is, on the first leg there are 3 long legs that stand out. I will make a chain in this way. I'm coming here. Around this base of the claim that I have here, I will again weave 2 prominent bases from the front. That is, I will make a 2 with each other. Two, 3. If you like, you can make it with 4 long bases, 4, 5, and 5 long bases, which I will turn into popcorn. Then I will make a chain. I will come between the space of the chain that I had a single chain. I will weave a long base there. I make a chain and make popcorn around the next base. In the previous row, we had built 3 long pillars, and the distance between each 3 long pillars was 1 chain. Now we have to make popcorn on all 3 long bases. And I can see a single chain space, a long base that is. I am currently making popcorn that I made one. I put a chain in the single chain space of a base. I knit long and again make a chain here. I make popcorn on my third base with 5. To the long base 2, 3. Four and 5. 5 long bases. I convert these 5 long bases into popcorn. I make a chain. I get to this part where I had the foundations of my work. To the long base. Raise from the semicircular base. I'm going to knit and I'll make a base again and make a chain. I'll get to this part. Notice these 3 long bases. On the first base, 3 prominent long bases should be woven from the front. 1, 2, and this is the third one. I'll make a chain on the second base. Around the second base, there is a long protruding base. I knit a chain in front. Around the third base, I knit 3 long protruding bases from the front, and this is also the third long protruding base from the front. A chain, and the work is repeated like this. In fact, your work should be like this. We have reached the end of the 11th row of your single chain. Come to the first long leg. See here, now you have 3 prominent long legs from the front. Then come to the first long leg, fasten from the front, and then I will fasten one. Tap on the second base. Do you want to knit 3 long prominent bases on the second side? Once again, on this long base, I will knit a long prominent base on the other side, and here I will knit a long prominent base on the other side. Around this tall base, I weave a long prominent base from the other side. I knit a chain again around this base, a long prominent base from the other side. I weave a chain. I go around the second base from these 3 long bases, and there I weave 3 long bases around the second base. And so our work turned out like this. From this first batch around the middle base, I woven 3 long protruding bases. Here around this base, I made a V-shaped base with a chain distance. For the next set of 3 on the middle base, I will make 3 long bases that stand out from my fabric again, and I want to make another chain around this base. I chain, I let the popcorn fall, a tall stand. Here, between these popcorns, I want to create a pop around it with 5 long legs protruding from the front, 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 5 long legs that I weave. I will turn this into a pop. Now, friends, look here. I am around this popcorn, which I have in the middle. I will weave a long protruding base from the front. In this way, I will make a chain. I will go around this long base, which is between these popcorns, and I will make a popcorn again, 1, 2. 3, 4, and 5. I weave 5 long legs around that long leg, which I am now turning into popcorn, and the number of popcorns is 2 around this middle popcorn leg, which is a prominent long leg. I do. From the round of the base, I reclaim 2 bases, that is 2 long bases that stand out from the side that are connected together. I knit, then I make a chain. For the long ones that you have, my jitsam, you need to weave 3 prominent long legs and make a chain. Come here around this single leg that you have here. Weave a long protruding leg from a chain. There is a long protruding leg around that leg so that it becomes his base is in the form of a chain. And again from these 3 to the long base that you have. The middle base, in fact, knit from around the middle base 3 to the prominent long base, then a chain, and continue working in the same way as I taught until the end of the row.